Part 4. Yang Mi, My Daughter Catches Ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 31. What granny? Baby, what's wrong with you? Yang Mi, who was driving, heard her daughter Zhou Xi suddenly say hello to an old woman. She felt her heart sinking. Her daughter couldn't really have a mental problem. Or maybe an imaginary friend had appeared. In Western countries, many children will have a friend who has grown up together and is invisible to others. They will eat with that friend, sleep together, play together, chat together, listen to music together, and watch movies together. According to Western scientists' explanation, the so-called invisible friend is just a fantasy reflection of the child. Especially in families with only one child. Because children have no playmates, this situation is most likely to occur when they are bored and lonely. According to statistics, this invisible friend, most of them will appear when they are 4 or 5 years old and disappear when they are 7 or 8 years old. Some will last longer. She will still accompany the children until they graduate from elementary school. There are even some can exist until you get married and have children, or even longer. Someone once conducted a questionnaire survey. In Western countries, 70% of children have had one or even several such invisible things. Friend. 50% of the children have spent a long time with the invisible friend. And 20% of the children, until long after the friend disappeared, firmly believe that the friend is not a fantasy, but something that really existed. Even, in Western countries, when many people are dying, they will see the friend who accompanied them when they were children again. They say that he is here to pick them up. Regarding this statement, Western arguments have different opinions. Some people firmly believe in scientism and believe that it is just an illusion. Others believe in church God, saying that it is the incarnation of angels, the gift of the Godfather, etc. Generally speaking, there is no such tradition in China. My daughter is already 5 years old. She has been taught so many miscellaneous things by her unreliable father, so she should not know too much. Logically speaking, it shouldn't be imagine a friend who is invisible to others. And even if it is a fantasy, you will usually imagine someone of the same age. How could it be an old woman? It is different from Yang Mi's rational analysis. At this time, Dilruba, the PD photographer, and even the online audience in the live broadcast room. Her emotions are much worse than those of Yang Mi, and she collapses much more. She can't be rational at all. Yang Mi, who was driving, didn't notice her daughter turning around or waving. But others saw everything clearly. Zhou Xi didn't just simply speak. She also turned her head and waved to the back. But in the direction of her wave, there were only folded car seats and 3 suitcases. Ah! I'm going crazy, what's going on with this horse riding? Goosebumps fell all over the floor, and all the hairs on my body stood up, it was so cold behind me. Watching a variety show made me wet my pants. The old lady appears out of nowhere. Xiao Xi, don't be scary. The most terrifying thing was Xiao 11's movements, as if he was really seeing someone. But there is obviously nothing there. If it's fake, it must be fake. For the sake of popularity, the show crew even lost their face. She is a 5-year-old child, and she is also Yang Mi's daughter. No matter how bold the show crew is, they would not dare to hype her up. Then please explain to me, what is going on? Could it be Dilruba? The funeral shed she passed by belonged to an old woman. So people caught up. It is said that the deceased is the oldest. Regardless of whether you know him or not, you must be respectful. And Reba and the others ran into someone else's funeral shed. Ah! Damn it, don't explain yourself. I wasn't that scared originally, but after you explained it like this, I really wanted to pee. Mom, I'm going to find my mother. This variety show is too scary, Right. The audience in the live broadcast room screamed and made a mess. Originally there were still some people who firmly believed in materialism and were not so afraid. After being analyzed and scrutinized by some people in the comment area, they couldn't stand it anymore. However, the most unbearable thing is none other than Diliriba herself. Because she was sitting next to Zhou Xi. Not only did he see Zhou Xi's actions, I also saw Zhou Xi's expression and even her eyes. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 32. Little 11. Who are you talking to? Don't scare your aunt, she's going to cry. As Diliriba said, she couldn't help curling up her body and burying her whole body in her seat. Originally, she wanted to hold Zhou Xi, a little Lolita, in her arms and rub her in all kinds of ways. Kissing all kinds of things. But now, Zhou Xi is facing the empty back, calling her grandma and saying hello to others. How can Diliriba not be frightened? There, except for 3 suitcases, obviously there is nothing. The most important thing is that when Zhou Xi said hello, she was still smiling, waving her little hands, and there was a strange light in her eyes. In that expression, it was as if she really saw something in front of her. Just like an old woman. There is no acting element at all. After all, she is an actor. Diliriba thinks she can still tell whether others are acting. Not to mention the other person is just a 5-year-old child, a child. And I have never had acting experience. How can this be adulterated? I'm saying hello to this old lady. Mom once said that if you see anyone with white hair outside, you should call her grandma. This old lady's hair is all white. Hee, the old lady is also saying hello to me and smiling at me. As Zhou Xi spoke, she grinned at the empty back. This time, Diliriba only felt that her scalp was numb and her whole body was cold, as if she was escaping from an ice cave. There are 3 kinds of the feeling of God returning to his place and the 7 orifices ascending to heaven. I peed again while riding a horse. Fortunately I haven't changed my pants yet. What's the situation? What is going on with this horse riding? What on earth did Xiao 11 see? Where did this old lady come from? Fake. It must be fake. Seeing a ghost in broad daylight is simply lawless. Do you still remember what Xiao Shi said before, that the Suanmen will be opened and the world will be in chaos? Couldn't it be because of this? What kind of international joke is this? It's just nonsense from a kid. It must have been taught by her unreliable father. Damn those big pig hooves, what on earth did you do? Such a smart and cute little girl was turned into a little goddess by him. But to me, the little girl doesn't look like she's acting. If this were acting, with such realistic acting skills, how many young talents could be killed instantly? A dragon begets a dragon, a phoenix begets a phoenix, and a mouse's son can make holes. Yang Mi's daughter has some acting skills, so there's nothing wrong with that. Is this a bit of a stretch? If this horse riding was really staged, it would be a good show. How could he be acting? What are the program pictures? Aren't you afraid of being banned? Regardless of whether it's true or not, I was scared anyway. Woohoo, it's broad daylight, and I always feel like there's an old lady with gray hair sitting next to me. Me too. I always feel like there is an old lady smiling at me next to me. It's too rude and intimidating. Stop talking, stop talking. I was almost scared to death when I stepped on the horse. I wanted to quit the live broadcast room, but I wanted to know the follow-up. Ditto. He is both good at food and loves to play, but he is also timid and loves to watch. That's me. The program team comes out and tells us what's going on. Yes, is it the program team that is causing trouble? Or is it purely an accident? You can give me an explanation. In the live broadcast room, there was complete chaos. Some said they were scared to death, some said it was a joke. Some were clamoring for the program team to come forward and give everyone a reasonable explanation. But how would they know? At this time, the program team was almost scared to death. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 33. Kyoto, Changping, 219, Provincial Highway. 3 modified buses were following Yang Mi's Mercedes travel business car. One of the cars was filled with food, tents, and other travel necessities. Another car is filled with various shooting, radio, recording equipment, etc. As for the last car, there were quite a lot of people sitting in it. Director Wang Zhenjiao from the program group Parent-Child Travel Diary, as well as deputy directors, producers, and others, all gathered here. In front of them is the live monitoring station of the show. You can see the live broadcast at any time, as well as netizens' comments and interactions. Not so long ago, the carriage was very lively and everyone was chatting animatedly. We even started planning how to hold a celebration party in the evening. Just because the online audience of the live broadcast room just now has exceeded 1 million people. You know, this is the premiere of a new program, and it only aired for about 2 hours. The astronomical figure of 1 million online viewers is definitely beyond the reach of Wang Zhenjiao and others. In addition, this time period is not the prime time after get off work. Even many old live variety shows may not be able to break through at this point in time, with millions of people watching online at the same time. I have a new variety show that just launched, but I did it. How can everyone not be excited? Not to mention the follow-up, how many big brands will come to attract investment, name, and sponsor. The broadcast traffic and copyright of this program alone can make the producer a huge profit. Although the boss changed hands and became Yang Mi and her mysterious man. But Wang Zhenjiao and others got their share. Including this year's year-end bonus, it is absolutely stable. It is precisely because of this. Wang Zhenjiao and others were very excited and happy just now. While looking at the live broadcast monitoring equipment, they talked about the mysterious man who made Yang Mi marry Young. However, Wang Zhenjiao never expected it. The reversal came so suddenly, the program had a broadcast accident. And it happened unexpectedly. A major broadcast accident that is unexpected and even beyond the scope of understanding. Child Zhou Xi said before that she saw billowing black smoke and wanted to go to the Ming Dynasty tombs or something. In fact, she has gone off topic and is not promoting positive energy. But the program team didn't take it seriously at the time. Children's words are unbridled. It's just talk and has no substantive content. Not only will it not affect anything, it will also create explosive points for the program and attract traffic. This is why they agreed to change their route and go to the Ming tombs. But after Reba appeared, the style of the show began to deviate gradually, getting further and further away, becoming more and more outrageous. Black handprints. Passing by the memorial shed. The atmosphere and tone of the entire program become increasingly unscientific. Wang Zhenjiao and others have already begun to discuss, find time to remind Yang Mi and Dili Reba to pay more attention. However, it is impossible to stop broadcasting. More than 1 million viewers online. You can't stop broadcasting even if you beat me to death. It's just that they haven't discussed the reason yet. A new round of explosions is coming. Zhou Xi actually saw an old lady with gray hair out of thin air. This horse riding is no longer unscientific. But it is directly contrary to science, right? The most important thing is, Wang Zhenjiao and others were also frightened at this time. Several of the staff members just screamed and hugged each other, trembling all over. Even Wang Zhenjiao himself was frightened to death. Director, Producer, what should I do? Yes. Xiao Shi said that he saw the old lady, it couldn't be true. Don't worry about whether it's real or fake, it's all a bit scary. I always feel like there are people sitting in the empty seats around me. Stop talking, my neck feels cold, and I feel like someone is tapping me on the shoulder. Lao Lu, weren't you behind me just now? When did you run ahead of me? You were shocked. I'm always right in front of you. You are the last. Ah. Who was that hugging me from behind just now? Ah. Inside the entire bus. All kinds of screams came and went, making a mess. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 34. Okay, stop yelling. Aren't you usually pretty bold? Are you starting to get scared now? On the bus, in front of the live broadcast monitor. Wang Zhenjiao was upset by the noise and interrupted everyone. During the live broadcast, such a mysterious thing suddenly happened. He really had a headache. The most important thing is, in the barrage area and the comment area, everyone is frantically swiping the screen, asking the program team what is going on. The hype script is really happening. Let the program team give an explanation. Wang Zhenjiao wants to cry but has no tears. In today's society, who dares to hype up such a thing? There must be a misunderstanding here. Believe in science. That's right. Just believe in science. Go on the live broadcast and make an announcement saying it's not scripted. The program team will investigate as soon as possible. At the same time, let Boss Yang park on the side of the road for now. Even in his own heart, he is actually panicking. As the backbone of the entire program team, Wang Zhenjiao still has to carry the banner. He can only use the word science to strengthen his beliefs. Otherwise, what else can XIN do? A new variety show that has been planned for many months and finally launched. It can't be stopped right after it starts. There are more than 1 million people online. If this is suddenly stopped, it will definitely be criticized. Even if it is restarted later, it will definitely be the reputation will decline, and it may even be discontinued. So, no matter what, he will continue to live broadcast. Even if it is really a supernatural incident. Wang Zhenjiao can't control so much. Unless relevant national departments intervene, he has to off the air. The announcement from the program team was sent out quickly. The comments section and barrage section, which were already full of excitement, became even more heated. It's not a script. Damn it. I've said it before. It can't be from a script. Who dares to make up such a bizarre script? Right? If it's something more ordinary, it might be a script. The more outrageous it is, the less likely the script is to be. If it weren't for the script, wouldn't Little 11 really have seen a ghost in the daytime? Not necessarily. Have you forgotten Into Science? Every time, it ends in an anticlimax, bluffing for a long time, scaring everyone to death, and finally turning into a piece of shit. This is even more outrageous than Into Science. If we let that program team film it, it could be broadcast for half a month. After you said this, I suddenly felt a little less scared. Amitba, believe in science, I believe the program team will reveal the truth. Many viewers in the live broadcast room gradually stabilized their emotions. Yang Mi's business station wagon also slowly stopped on the roadside of Provincial Highway 219. Even if there was no director team, Yang Mi was notified through the intercom. Mi has also parked the car. She is more worried about her daughter than anyone else. After the car stopped, Yang Mi turned her head. The first thing to see was the frightened and confused Diliriba. At this moment, her body was curled up, hugging her beautiful legs. She wanted to get into the seat. But even though she was so frightened, Diliriba couldn't help but look sideways, followed Zhou Shiai's gaze, and looked back. Compared with Dilruba's rather embarrassed appearance, Zhou Shiai's condition is very decent, very normal, no different from usual. The only difference was that she was looking in the direction of the empty car. From time to time, he would nod his head, as if he was listening to what others were saying. But, even though Yang Mi's eyes widened, her eyesight was extremely good. I scanned the entire space behind, and couldn't see anything unusual. It's empty, there's nothing. Giggle. So this is Grandma, you are having fun. Zhou Shiai started talking again. And he chuckled twice before starting to speak. Normally, Yang Mi would be very happy to hear her daughter smiling so nicely, and would even laugh with her daughter. But now, Yang Mi felt like her head was going to explode. His heart was in his throat. His whole body was even shaking uncontrollably. What the hell? What did my daughter see and hear? Where is the old lady? What did this old lady say that made you think she was funny? My mother is almost scared to tears by you. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 35. Ah, Xiao Shiai, you have a nice smile, don't laugh again next time. Family members, who knows? I just watched the movie The Grudge, and now my mind is filled with clips from it. I really can't bear it. Director team, help. Come and reveal the truth. I can't even change my pants. Sister upstairs, we are afraid of this. If it doesn't work, just stop watching it. It's okay to wet your pants all the time. Look how reliable I am, I wet the bed right away. If it's a prank, it's time to stop. Is this little girl addicted to acting? It's past 6 o'clock, it's getting dark. What should I do if I'm riding a horse at home alone and getting more and more scared? Do you want to ask the little wife next door for help and take her to watch it together? Brother upstairs, your horse rider must be named Wang. At this time, you still covet the little daughter-in-law next door. Where is the humanity, where is the conscience, where is the address? Tell me, let me go with you. Because of the program team's announcement, many people jumped out and brainwashed them with scientific arguments. The atmosphere in the live broadcast room was much more relaxed than before. But there were still many people with numb scalps and buzzing heads. It was very what should I do if I'm afraid and don't want to turn off the live broadcast room? Then of course you should invite others to watch it together. It's better to enjoy it alone than to enjoy it together. So, some people started to invite their family members, brothers, sisters, or parents to watch it together. Some people invited them to the dormitory. Watch it with your friends, classmates, and colleagues. There are also people who are at home and can't find anyone around them, so share the live broadcast link with your brothers, sisters, best friends, etc. Or just send it to a circle of friends. Such a mysterious live broadcast. Can't do it? Let me watch by myself and suffer by myself. It is precisely because of the viewers' saucy behavior that the number of online viewers in the live broadcast room has skyrocketed again. 1,001,000,000 people. 1,200,000 people. 1.3 million people. In the end, it even broke through, 1.4 million people. Close to the 1.5 million mark. Major online media platforms, self-media channels, and official account, marketing account, etc. Naturally, I will not let this opportunity pass me by. Unbelievable, parent-child travel diary has become approaching science, and it is even more unscientific than approaching science. Is Dilruba a ghost? Who would have thought that Dilruba would pass by the funeral shed with a black handprint on her shoulder? Yang Mi, Boss Yang's daughter Zhou Shiai, is getting more and more outrageous. The Mingtombs incident hadn't started yet, but she saw something evil on Dilruba's body again. Have you ever heard of seeing ghosts during the day? Have you ever heard of seeing ghosts during the day on live broadcasts? Parent-child travel diary subverted our three views as soon as it was aired. During the show, Yang Mi's daughter actually claimed to have seen an old lady with gray hair. Was this an operation by the show crew for the sake of popularity, or was it the birth of a supernatural event? The heartwarming parent-child travel variety show has turned into a scary and mysterious variety show. Nowadays, the program team is getting more and more desperate for popularity. No surprises. Key words about this show, about Yang Mi, and Zhou Xi. Hot search again. And it's still as popular as ever. But this time, neither the program team nor Yang Mi wanted this hot search. I don't care about this hot search either. Especially Yang Mi. Seeing my daughter talking to herself in the empty carriage, I felt indescribably complicated. Scared and worried. I also want to know what my daughter has been through. Baby. What happened to you? Well, there's no one there at all, and there's no gray-haired old lady either. Don't scare Mom. When Yang Mi said this, she was already crying. There was no performance element. She really couldn't help it and wanted to cry. After hearing Yang Mi's words, Zhou Xi finally turned around. Her face was calm and her eyes were clear. His face is full of ignorance and childishness. There is no trace of abnormality, still so cute, so beautiful, so quirky. Mommy. You can't see this old lady. But Grandma really exists. And she just told me that she had already gotten in the car. I came here with Aunt Reba. Zhou Xi said with a serious face and a very determined tone. Her voice was still so milky and sweet. But what she said, caused Yang Mi and Dili Reba to collapse again. Including following PD cameraman. At this time, I was also frightened, and my hands kept shaking, if today's cameras didn't all have high-tech stabilizers. The viewers in the live broadcast room may not be able to see the picture clearly. But even so, the viewers in the live broadcast room can clearly feel the shake of the following camera. To experience it? How frightened and panicked the photographer was at this moment. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 36. Peed again, I peed again while riding a horse. I really don't have any pants to change into. Sure enough, it had something to do with the funeral shed she passed by. Dili Reba must have encountered the legendary ghost. Amitabha, Bodhisattva bless you, no offense intended, please don't come to me. Family members, who knows? Someone just died in our community today, and she was also an old woman with white hair. Now let me see this, and I really can't stand it. The camera started to shake. It shows that the cameraman is also afraid. This may not really be the script. From personal experience, my aunt was possessed by a ghost. My whole body ached and I was suffering from hysteria, but nothing could be found wrong. Then an old lady in the village tested it with a chopstick. At that time, the chopstick stood up directly in the bowl. I've seen it before too. You hold the chopsticks to call your name, right? If the name is correct, the chopsticks will stand in the water bowl. Just burn some incense and pour out the bowl of water. Yes, just call the name, because generally ghosts have ill contact with the undead. When Goddess Reba came today, she happened to pass by someone else's funeral shed. Damn it. Please, stop talking. I am the successor of the Socialist Road. When you say that, I feel like my faith has collapsed. I believe in science, but I also respect tradition. I worship all the Buddhas in the sky and ask for the protection of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. It's not too much. Not too much, not too much. I took out my electronic wooden fish, knock it, the gods and demons will disperse, and the merits will be with you. The live broadcast room that had just calmed down a lot. Because of Zhou Shiai's words, the violent mode was turned on again. Many people began to knock on electronic wooden fish to accumulate merit and comfort their souls. This made the producer of the electronic wooden fish app a little bit "I'm so confused. Hasn't the popularity of this thing passed? Why today, the number of downloads suddenly skyrocketed. Mercedes, traveling business car. Diliriba, who was curled up into a ball, was shaking like chaff after hearing Zhou Shiai's words. 11. You. Can you please stop scaring your aunt? It was broad daylight, and my aunt was scared to death. As Diliriba said, she wanted to open the door and get out. However, the door was locked and could not be opened. Reba, don't worry, calm down. Yang Mi first comforted Diliriba. Although she was a little panicked. But this matter was all because of her daughter. She had to figure it out and solve it. Women are weak in nature. Mother Zigong. Even she was trembling involuntarily. Yang Mi still forced herself to calm down. Baby. You said you saw an old woman. But my mother and aunt really can't see it. Did the old lady say anything else? Did she say what she wanted to do? Yang Mi said as she slowly unbuckled her seat belt. And just in case, she quietly unlocked the car door. Grandma said. She has never seen a big girl as beautiful as Aunt Reba, but she is very rare for Aunt Reba. He also said that my mother is also very beautiful. My baby is also very cute. The reason why I followed Aunt Reba was because it was so rare, so I followed her unconsciously. There is nothing malicious. Let us not be afraid. Zhou Shiai said conclusively, everything still seemed so normal. Even in his words, he wanted to appease others' emotions. But Yang Mi and Diliriba, after hearing Zhou Shiai's words, they completely sank to the bottom. Because they were almost certain. Zhou Shiai was not playing a prank, nor was she lying. She might have really seen an old woman in the car. After all, the eldest daughter words like rare. They have never had contact with the platform, and Zhou Shiai has never said anything about it. But now, she said such words. There must be someone around her who was really talking like this, so she followed up and conveyed it. Yang Mi didn't say anything. Dilruba did not say. I didn't even tell the PD photographer. Who else could have said that? It can only be the fourth person in the car. No. I'm afraid this one is not a human. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 37. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Things are getting more and more outrageous. Big daughter? Rare. This seems to be something people from the Northeast like to say. Zhou Shiai's family environment should not allow such things to happen. But she suddenly started talking, and when she just related, even her tone was a bit rough. In other words, that old lady with white hair is actually from the Northeast. Little 11's speech was changed by the invisible old lady. It's really not the most outrageous, only more outrageous. But this is Changping. Did she marry here from the Northeast? In the Northeast, the theory of ghosts and gods is prevalent, and there are even ghosts and other things. Isn't this old lady also a charlatan? Brothers, this is not the key is that more and more evidence points to, this show is really a ghost. Although I was scared to death, I still couldn't believe it. How could there be a ghost? I have lived in vain for more than 30 years riding a horse. The truth. I want the truth. Otherwise, I will definitely not be able to sleep tonight. It's not scary to be unable to sleep. What's scary is, you suddenly wake up from your sleep and find a white-haired old woman lying next to you, smiling at you with her scarlet tongue out. Ah! I have a picture of me riding a horse. Can you replace the old lady with a female ghost? Shut up. You bastards, I stepped on my horse and peed again. It is impossible to verify how many viewers in the live broadcast room were frightened to death. But Yang Mi and Diliriba who were at the scene were really scared to death, even though Zhou Xi was conveying it. The invisible old woman praised herself for being beautiful and thought she was very rare. But we don't want this rarity. Baby. You, stop talking. First unbuckle your seat belt and follow your mother out of the car. At this time, Yang Mi no longer wanted to distinguish whether what her daughter said was true or false. What was the truth of everything? She was so frightened that her liver and gallbladder burst. Now she only had one thought. That was to take her daughter away from here. Leave this car. Or even leave this show directly and never come again. Go home. Yang Mi just wants to go home now, back to that stinky man. Although that bad guy is very out of tune and unreliable. It's very unfair. But by his side, Yang Mi feels completely safe. This show can't be recorded anymore. No matter how much liquidated damages are paid, it can't be recorded at all. Besides, this show can't be recorded at all. The producer seems to be the company of his own stinky man. There is no need to pay liquidated damages. Then there is nothing to worry about. That's right, go home. I want to go home too. Sister Me, let's go find brother-in-law. This variety show is too scary. I will never come to it again. Dilruba was also frightened out of her mind. After hearing Yang Mi's words, her limp body finally gained some strength. Trembling, she unbuckled her seat belt. Then she was ready to open the door and get out of the car. However, at this moment, Zhou Xi spoke again. Mother. Aunt Reba. Are you scared? Don't be afraid. This old lady really doesn't seem to have any malicious intentions. Although she is a spirit body, which is what people often call a ghost. But ghosts are also considered to be a kind of living beings, some are good and some are bad, and not all of them can harm people. There are many ghosts, but they just have nowhere to put their souls and can't find their way back. As long as we help them find where their souls belong, that will be enough. Just like when you watch Liaozai, Ning Keichin, and Nai Xiaoqian. Knowing that Nai Xiaoqian is actually a female ghost. No, I sympathize with her, like her very much, or pity her. Do you want her and Ning Keichin to achieve perfection and be together? Zhou Xi admonished Yang Mi and Diliriba in a matter-of-fact manner. She even quoted from classics and quoted Ning Keichin and Nai Xiaoqian from Strange Tales from a Chinese studio. She directly mentioned Yang Mi and Diliriba. Hearing this, he was stunned on the spot, and even the panic and fear in his heart were temporarily forgotten. Zhou Xi, do you know what you are talking about? No. She knows. She is very clear, very understanding. She even doesn't even know that grandma, she is a ghost. She seems to have known about it for a long time. But she didn't have any feeling of fear. Even, in her eyes, it seemed like it was a very common thing. Even a little bit I hate the fuss made by my mother and my aunt. But, that's a ghost. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 38. Parent-Child Travel Diary Program Group, on the bus. Wang Zhenjiao's face looked very ugly at this time. After asking Yang Mi to stop just now, their bus also stopped not far away. However, Chief Director Wang Zhenjiao and others were not in a hurry to go on. Because they saw Yang Mi talking to Zhou Xi. I still want to see if there can be any change in this matter. What if it was really a prank? Who would have thought? The turning point didn't come. The opportunity for this show to end appeared without any warning. Zhou Xi actually knew and personally verified that the so-called old lady she said was a ghost Apiao. When I heard those words, Wang Zhenjiao felt like 5 thunders were hitting his head, and the sky was about to collapse. Why is it so difficult to make a show? He had calculated everything, but he never thought that his program would fall into this. Don't be too outrageous. Director, will you continue to broadcast live? The trend of our program now is a bit propaganda and feudal superstition. Woohoo! It's so scary, director, I want to take leave, I want to go home. Director, if it doesn't work, let's call the police, and let the relevant departments handle this matter. Yes. Call the police, this is beyond our understanding and ability. After so many years of doing variety shows, this was the first time I was so scared that I got wet all over. Several staff members were chattering on the side. Wang Zhenjiao lit a cigarette and remained silent. The producer on the side was also scratching his head crazily. He almost scratched his bald skin and turned into a Mediterranean hairstyle. Got it? Horse riding. Do not care. Keep streaming. I don't believe it. There can really be ghosts in this world. No matter what, I will live broadcast to the end today and wait for the truth to be exposed. Even if there really are ghosts in this world, even this program and myself will be banned. I also want to make today's live broadcast an eternal song. Wang Zhenjiao stubbed out the cigarette in his hand and made the final decision word for word. Not long after the broadcast started, nearly 1.5 million people were online. He really couldn't convince himself to just turn off the live broadcast, as long as shut it down. This show will be ruined. Your reputation, and even your career, will be ruined. In that case, let's destroy it together. Whatever the devil, I will broadcast it to the end. What if it turns out to be a new long? Maybe I still have a chance of survival. Mercedes, business station wagon. Yang Mi and Dili Reba had already unbuckled their seat belts and were ready to get out of the car at any time. After listening to what Zhou Xi said, everyone broke out in a cold sweat and completely collapsed. The photographer who followed the PD was also frightened so much that he sweated profusely and dripped down his hair. I can't even hold the camera. Just the order from the chief director Wang Zhenjiao came from the earphones. He had to grit his teeth and persist. Prop the camera on the back of your seat and continue broadcasting. Zhou Xi. You know, you've known it for a long time. The white-haired old woman you said is a ghost. And you're not scared at all. For the first time, Yang Mi called out Zhou Xi's full name. Because she had told her daughter that whenever she calls her by her full name, it means that the situation is serious and her mother is very serious. Although various evidences are proving that. It seems that I have really encountered a supernatural event and met a legendary ghost. But in Yang Mi's heart, she still has a trace of luck. I hope this is her daughter's prank, her daughter's joke. And she, just wants to tell she can't go on messing around anymore. Yes. From the very beginning, I discovered that there was no breath of living people in this old woman. And it has no body and no shadow, it is a state of soul body. Dad said that such a creature. It's what ordinary people call ghosts. Actually, they are just another form that appears after human death. There's nothing to be afraid of. Dad took me with me before and saw other ghosts. It's just that the people my father took me to meet were all female ghosts, and they were all very beautiful big sisters. This is also the first time I have seen someone of my grandmother's age. Zhou Xi's condition is as stable as ever. She speaks in a calm tone. She has a milky voice and is as cute as ever. It's just that the message expressed in her words, makes people who were already collapsed and confused. Once again it exploded. And it was like a firework, it went straight into the sky and exploded to pieces. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts. Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 39. What the hell, a beautiful young lady ghost. What on earth did that damn big pig hoof do? What Zhou Shii said is not true. What kind of serious father would take his daughter to see a ghost? Ridiculous, no. This step on the horse is no longer outrageous, this is outrageous. It's so ridiculous that I really can't believe it. The more bizarre and uninhibited it sounds, the more unbelievable it is. In fact, it is more likely to be true, especially the beautiful female ghost mentioned by Xiaoxi. Think about it carefully, it's really like this, all the ghosts you see are female ghosts, and they are very beautiful young lady ghosts. This fits perfectly with the character of that big pig's hooves, a fool who loves to look at beautiful women. Can you please stop making trouble? Do you think that big pig's hoof is Taoist priest Lin Zhenying? What the hell is going on? I wouldn't believe it even if I were killed. Not even Taoist priest Lin Zhenying can do it. Pastor Lin Zhenying was just making a movie, but now it is live broadcast, real-time live broadcast, happening in reality. If you think about it carefully, what that big pig hoofer taught Xiao 11 was very difficult. I'm afraid he is really a strange person, even an expert. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Such an unreliable guy is a damned master. Goddess Mimi, when I talked to that guy on the phone for the second time, he still lied that he was flying with a sword. What if, what he said about flying with his sword was true? Damn it. If you say that, I will be energetic. If that big pig's hooves really knows how to fly with a sword, I must become my master and take it as my duty to subjugate demons and deal with beautiful female ghosts. The millions of viewers in the live broadcast room were completely in chaos. Yang Mi at the scene, after hearing Zhou Shi's words, her anger defeated her fear. First there were beauties from foreign countries, and then there were beautiful ghost girls. This stinky man, why should his taste be so strong and complex? Riding an ocean horse, and then riding a horse to get rid of the ghost? Do you think you are really Ningkeichin? Do you want to experience the daily life of Su Xian and Whitesnake again? In desperation, Yang Mi really wished she could call that stinky man now and question him. They even went home directly, tied him to the bed, and tortured him with Reba to extract a confession. But when I think about it, there is also an invisible ghost in this car, the old lady Apiao. Yang Mi quickly calmed down and temporarily recorded this moment in her account. At this moment, Zhou Shii turned her head and looked behind again. He also said, I don't know where that place is or anything like that. Baby. What are you and this old lady talking about? Obviously, without knowing it, Yang Mi has already acquiesced to the fact that the ghost of Piao old woman exists. Oh, the old lady asked the baby where he saw other ghosts. But that place was where the father took the baby. The baby doesn't even know where the detailed address is. But the baby heard his father say, because the great age is coming, Suanmen will be opened. The rules of heaven and earth have appeared, very strange changes. The portal of Fengde Ghost Town has also become unstable. Therefore, ghosts and chaos may occur frequently in recent times. This didn't happen before. Zhou Shii answered Yang Mi's words. He also took the opportunity to explain to the old lady. It seems that Zhou Shi's mental state is very schizophrenic. But actually, the people who saw this scene, it is even more divided than Zhou Shi's state, even bursting. It's obviously something so absurd and outrageous. To this 5-year-old girl, it seemed perfectly normal. Don't be hasty, don't be slow, speak calmly. But do you know what you are talking about? Even the Fengde Ghost Town has appeared. From now on, we should talk about Ghost Gate, Huangquan Road, Nehi Bridge, Sansheng Stone, Menpotang, and Wangchuan River. There is also the underworld and the 18 levels of hell. Just when everyone was distracted by Zhou Shi's latest remarks, their thoughts were flying, and their minds were filled with all kinds of ghost movie clips. The situation on the field changed again. Zhou Xi, who had been looking to the side and back, her little head suddenly turned back slowly. "Grandma! What are you doing here? Is the space in the back too cramped? Are you going to change places?" Zhou Xi spoke to the air while turning her head. Her eyes flickered, as if she really saw someone moving in the air, and as Zhou Xi's voice sounded, her gaze movement trajectory also changed. The temperature in the entire car dropped to freezing point in an instant. Especially Diliriba. Her emotions had just eased a lot, and she was tense again. Just because Zhou Xi's eyes had turned to look sideways. In other words, Zhou Xi looked in the direction where she was. As their eyes met, a terrifying thought emerged in Diliriba's mind unconsciously. She only felt that her head exploded in half instantly. In a trance, she seemed to really see a gray-haired old woman. She was floating in front of her out of thin air, grinning at herself. Her face was gray. Her eyes were red. Dense wrinkles covered her cheeks. Her mouth was full of wrinkles. There are no teeth, only exposed gums and a scarlet tongue, as if it had just sucked blood. "Yang Mi, my daughter catches ghosts." Scared millions of viewers. Author, Tianyi Madman. Chapter 40. Ah! There really is a ghost. I seemed to see her. Little 11, save me. Save Aunt. Diliriba's face was as golden as paper, her liver and gallbladder were splitting, and she wanted to open the door and run away. But her body was so frightened that she couldn't muster any strength at all. She looked around. Zhou Xi, who was only 5 years old, became a hot girl. Ba's lifeline. The atmosphere in the car had already dropped to freezing point, and everything was weird. Diliriba's frightened expression and her words made Yang Mi and the photographer shiver. The barrage area and comment area in the live broadcast room are inevitably full of ghosts and wolf howls. Especially at the moment when Diliriba suddenly screamed. I don't know how many people were so frightened that they couldn't hold their mobile phones steadily, and they took them out and dropped them on the ground. There were also countless people who were so frightened that they peed their pants because they couldn't control themselves for a moment. What did Diliriba see? He actually scared her like this. And that legendary old lady is floating around. What does she want to do? Of course, there are still many people adhere to one's own materialist ideas and defend the authority of science to the death. I don't believe there is such a thing as an old lady. He even listed various evidences and possibilities to explain all this. Or it's the script. Or it's a prank by Diliriba and others. Either these people all ate hallucinogenic mushrooms and developed dreamy linkages. Especially the last possibility. After it was proposed, it was praised by many people. After all, in Nanyuan, China, there are various hallucinations and even various abnormal behaviors caused by eating mushrooms. Appears frequently and is not uncommon. Could it be that Yang Mi and the others ate these mushrooms at noon and collectively experienced hallucinations? For this reason, many people in the barrage area and comment area were frantically leaving messages. Let the program team check the ingredients and sources of Yang Mi and others' lunch. However, their proposal has not yet been seen by the program team. New incidents occurred again. Aunt Reba, have you seen Grandma? No, she looks quite kind. Why are you afraid of being like this? And the old lady has floated over. Zhou Xi said as she pointed forward, in the direction of the passenger seat. It was better now. Diliriba calmed down a little for the time being. When she switched to following the PD cameraman, her whole body was numb. She only felt a chill. Chi rises from the soles of the feet, surges throughout the body, and reaches the sky. What do you mean? Where is the grandma you mentioned? Following the PD cameraman, the whole person was shaking non-stop. When he was talking, his mouth seemed to be fighting, with his upper teeth touching his lower teeth. Not to mention the camera in his hand. It was shaking so hard that he could hardly hold it. It comes with a stabilizer. The picture everyone saw in the live broadcast room was also shaking crazily. Grandma is right next to you. She seems to be very interested in the camera in your hand. I'm looking left and right, studying the camera. Joshi I answered the questions of the PD cameraman with a serious look on her face. It's just that she didn't answer. As soon as the answer came out, the PD cameraman couldn't stand it. Without saying a word, he directly opened the passenger door and ran outside like crazy. It doesn't matter what you do about live broadcasts, variety shows, or directing. It doesn't matter what your salary, bonuses, and year-end bonuses are. I don't want them all, can't you? This job, it's really impossible to do it. If it weren't for the fact that the camera was fixed on his arm to save energy. Now he couldn't wait to throw the camera away and run away with all his heart.